A behavioral study revealed that people who get paid weekly spend up to 10% more on non-essentials than those on a bi-weekly schedule, even when making the exact same annual salary. We think we control our bank accounts, but a hidden, rhythmic trap dictates our financial survival. Your net worth isn't failing because you lack willpower. It's failing because your paycheck frequency has brainwashed you into a state of permanent financial amnesia. And the scariest part is, the financial system is designed to keep you in this exact fog forever. Today, you're going to see exactly how your payment schedule quietly erodes your wealth by altering how rich you feel every single day. We will unpack the landmark research of Dr. Wendy De La Rosa from Stanford University to prove how invisible money movements wipe out your savings without you ever noticing. By the end of this video, you will understand how to manually restore psychological friction to your transactions and completely reshape your spending habits. But the final mechanism we will discuss is the single reason most hardworking people never escape the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. Think about the last time you bought something with a single, mindless tap of your phone or smartwatch. There was no physical exchange, no physical cash leaving your wallet, and absolutely no immediate psychological pain of loss. Dr. Wendy De La Rosa's research shows that when we remove friction from our payment methods, our brain fails to register that we are actually poorer. This complete lack of friction creates a deep, psychological fog that detaches our daily actions from our long-term net worth. But this fog runs much deeper than just digital wallets. It actually starts the very moment your employer deposits your salary. To prove this, researchers ran a controlled experiment where they split workers into two distinct groups. Group A received their pay in one lump sum at the start of the month, while Group B received smaller, weekly payments. Even though both groups earned the exact same total amount, the weekly group felt significantly wealthier throughout the month. This perceived wealth caused them to make riskier, non-essential purchases, leaving them completely blind to their true financial limits. But how does this mental distortion translate into our actual, everyday spending habits when we step outside? Now, here's the part that nobody talks about, and it is a massive wake-up call. When you get paid frequently, your brain performs a dangerous form of mental accounting where it views every incoming deposit as a green light to consume immediately. You look at your balance today, see a fresh deposit, and ignore the massive, upcoming bills due in 2 weeks. This is why a recent survey by Empower showed that ordinary Americans are now forced to adopt extreme survival habits. In fact, 66% of people are combining errands into single trips just to cut down on gas, while 52% avoid idling their cars to save pennies. We are fighting tooth and nail to save on fuel, yet we are losing thousands to the silent trap of payment frequency. This financial fog is compounded by social environments that dictate how we view status and success in our daily lives. A study analyzing youth money habits in the Sultanate of Oman revealed that peer pressure and social standing are the strongest drivers of toxic spending behaviors. Young people constantly engage in reckless spending just to match the lifestyle of their social circle, ignoring their actual bank balances and long-term security. When your peers are spending and your phone is constantly telling you that you have cash, your financial survival instinct is completely turned off. But the damage this does to your long-term wealth is far worse than a few bad nights out. This lack of financial awareness leads to catastrophic life decisions, especially when it comes to buying a home and building real equity. Financial experts note that before buying a house, you should ideally have at least 30% of the home's value saved in pure cash. In addition, most stable long-term plans recommend allocating between 25 and 40% of your total net worth to real estate, including your primary residence. But because payment frequency distorts our perception of savings, millions of buyers jump in with almost nothing down. They end up house poor, trapped in a liquid asset because they track their monthly cash flow instead of their actual net worth. The key to breaking this cycle lies in a concept known as the psychology of net worth tracking. A landmark paper on this phenomenon shows that simply shifting your focus from monthly budgeting to active net worth tracking creates massive behavioral change. When you track your net worth, you force your brain to look at the entire iceberg, not just the water splashing on the deck. Regular monthly tracking allows you to identify hidden spending leaks and witness real, compounding growth over time. But there's a massive biological roadblock in your brain that makes doing this incredibly difficult. But this next study broke my brain and changed how I view every transaction. Neuroscientists have discovered that when we pay with physical cash, our brain's pain centers, specifically the insula, light up in a way that mimics physical discomfort. When we swipe a credit card or use a tap-to-pay feature, that pain center remains completely dormant. We are literally anesthetizing our brains against the pain of spending money, making us feel richer than we are. Without that natural psychological speed bump, we lose our grip on reality and fall deeper into the financial fog. To fight back against this neural hack, you must manually inject pain back into your daily financial routine. Dr. De La Rosa suggests creating artificial boundaries, like moving your entertainment budget to a completely separate bank account with no overdraft protection. You can also enforce a 24-hour rule for any online purchase, forcing your rational brain to override your impulsive desires. By deliberately slowing down the transaction, you give your mind the necessary space to evaluate the true cost of your spending habits. But how do we scale this up to protect our entire net worth from the system's traps? This is why tools like a monthly budget tracker or a dedicated net worth tracker are so powerful. By forcing yourself to manually input your assets, liabilities, and monthly expense data, you are actively waking your brain up from its spending-induced slumber. You begin to see the direct connection between that daily, frictionless coffee run and your stalled retirement planning goals. It turns an abstract, invisible number into a concrete reality that you can shape and control. But how do we apply this mindset to the larger economic reality we face today? The hard truth of 2026 is that net worth defines your class and your ultimate freedom in an unstable world. The middle class often relies entirely on their next bi-weekly or weekly check, leaving them incredibly vulnerable to sudden economic shifts and unexpected emergencies. Meanwhile, the truly wealthy do not look at how much money hits their checking account every Friday. They measure their life by assets, liabilities, and equity, using the multiplier effect to expand their businesses and holdings. If you want to transition from surviving to building real wealth, you have to stop thinking in terms of weekly income. This brings us back to the primary secret of Dr. De La Rosa's research on payment frequency and human behavior. The ultimate way to escape the financial fog is to treat your income as a single, monthly event, regardless of how often your employer pays you. By manually aggregating your paychecks and holding them in a separate account before distributing them, you restore the natural friction that keeps your spending habits disciplined. You stop reacting to the temporary high of a fresh deposit and start planning with the clarity of your true net worth. Take control of your money's rhythm today, and subscribe if you are ready to build a life of genuine financial clarity.